Lesson 4, Bugs in the Trees. Trees come in so many shapes and sizes. These amazing creations provide a significant amount of the oxygen we breathe. They are the homes for countless birds, small climbing creatures, and countless insects. If you looked closely and saw every interaction a tree has with wildlife throughout its day, it might look like a bustling zoo. This lesson is all about the creepy crawlies who live in the branches, leaves, and trunks of trees. Let's take a look at some of them. Tree hoppers. Tree hoppers are unique bugs that live in trees. There are about 3,200 species of tree hoppers that live in diverse habitats around the world, though most species are found in tropical locations. Tree hoppers are very small creatures and difficult to see. If you look sometime to observe and hunt for these unique bugs, you would see that they are many different colors, including green, blue, brown, and even bronze. They are often spotted or striped. They have a distinctive thorax that is quite large for its size. This thorax is often described as looking like it has a hood or spikes on its back, or sometimes both. There are some pretty incredible variations of this species, including ones that look like eyes, insects, horns, and many more. Tree hoppers use vibration to communicate, but it isn't sound that we can hear. Each species shakes their bodies in a different pattern, and the sound transmits as far as a meter, about 3 feet away. Tree hoppers rely on trees for their food source. They are not a cause for concern if just a couple are feeding on a tree, but they can cause considerable damage if they are present in large numbers. Their mouths are sharp and can pierce through tree bark to suck up sap. Once they find a good spot to eat, these bugs often stay to feed from that one spot for a long time, as long as 1 month. The saliva that tree hoppers produce prevents the hole in the bark from closing up, allowing them to feed constantly. If enough of these tree-sucking bugs are present, the tree will not have enough sap to stay healthy. Unlike many insect species, a tree hopper mother is known to protect her eggs. She sits on her eggs so that other animals cannot destroy them. The eggs are often inserted in a stem and covered by a substance kind of like wax, protecting them even further. Some tree hopper species are known to try to scare off attackers or even kick an attacking insect. An invasive species is anything that comes to a new environment from elsewhere and disrupts the ecosystem. Tree hoppers can be invasive when brought into a new country and can cause considerable damage to trees that are important for the economy. In the United States, when a species of tree hopper is found in a shipment of flowers, herbs, or other organic matter, it needs to be swiftly identified before the shipment is allowed to enter the country. Pictures and even preserved specimens are sent to USDA lab for identification. Scientists determine if the bugs are a threat to the country or not, and then recommend that the shipment be sent back to where it came from, destroyed, or fumigated to kill the potential invaders if necessary. If they don't think the critters found will be a threat, they allow the shipment to come into the country unhindered. Emerald ash borer. This invasive species came to North America from East Asia. Many species of ash trees in North America are vulnerable to this shiny metallic beetle. The emerald ash borer only appeared in North America about 30 years ago. It is present in 30 states and 5 provinces. Because the ash tree in North America have no natural defense against these beetles, and they cannot be controlled by natural predators, these little bugs can do sweeping damage to trees. The Canadian government warns that 99% of ash trees in an area will be killed within 10 years of the beetle being present. This affects the strength and diversity of forests in North America. It also affects urban areas since ash trees are often planted in parks along streets. When these mature trees have been cut down and have to be cut down and removed because they are dead, it creates a burden on the cities, and it takes years for another tree to grow in its place.
Many animals have an appearance that makes them blend in the surroundings, but walking sticks, also known as stick bugs or stick insects, take it a step further than most. These insects don't just blend into their surroundings, they look exactly like their homes. These bugs look just like sticks. Sometimes they even sway back and forth to convince onlookers that they are moving in the breeze. There are around 3,000 species of stick insects, and they range in color from green to brown. They occasionally have stripes to assist in their camouflage. Some of these impressive creatures have wings and are really interesting to look at. Female stick bugs can lay unfertilized eggs that will hatch into new female bugs. These bugs are nocturnal, and they are awake mostly at night. Bats love to snack on them. These are popular as pets. The largest stick bug is over 21 inches long, including its legs. They are found on every continent except Antarctica. Stick bugs eat primarily leaves and other vegetation. Stick bugs live mostly in tropical or subtropical regions. Only a few live in temperate regions. If they are attacked by predators, some stick bugs release chemicals that smell awful to deter the attack, while others can drop their legs to let the predator literally have a piece of them. They can regrow their legs later. Katydids. The sweet song of a bird outside your window is a delightful way to wake up in the morning. But did you know that some bugs have their own songs just like birds? Katydids are related to crickets. They are even called bush crickets, sometimes because of their tendency to make their home in trees and bushes. These remarkable little critters rub their forewings together to produce a song like sound. Each of them, approximately 6,000 species, has a song, and they use their songs for different reasons. Sometimes they use a song for mating purposes or to claim their territory. They will also use songs as a defense or as a part of an aggressive move. Most of the song sounds produced by the katydid population comes from the male insects, but there are some exceptions. There are even some species that perform duets between male and females. Katydids vary in appearance, some species to species. Many look similar to green grasshoppers with thin legs and long, thin antennae. Other species have some brown coloring on them. Some varieties are more striking in color, featuring pink and yellow colors. Most species of katydids have wings, but they are not very useful for flying. Did you know that there are pink katydids? They are incredibly rare and hard to find. See if you can find a picture of one and discover why they are pink. Silkworms. The Chinese kept the secret of silkworms for a long time. The silkworm moth is native to China, and it is used to make delightful soft cloth known as silk for years in China before anyone else knew they did it. Silk was so desired in the ancient world that the trade route that led to China from the Middle East and farther west was called the Silk Road. Silkworms were found wild in China, dining on mulberry leaves and spinning their cocoons since before written history. But today there are no silkworm moths in the wild. They are now completely domesticated. Silkworm moths only live for 2 to 3 days and do not eat in their adult form. The female will lay 300 to 500 eggs that will hatch in 1 to 2 weeks if kept between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The practice of sericulture dated back to 3600 BC. That's over 5,600 years ago. Sericulture is the farming of mulberry bushes for their leaves, and ensuring that silkworms have everything they need. When a silkworm moth lays eggs, they hatch into larvae. They eat mulberry leaves. Some are fed lettuce or other greens as well, until they grow from less than 0.1 inches or 2 millimeters to almost 3 inches or 75 millimeters long. They take the larvae 45 days. This takes the larvae 45 days. When they reach maturity, they begin to create their cocoon from silky strands, and they become known as pupa instead of larvae. This cocoon is spun with one strand of silk that is around 1,000 yards. To harvest the silk, the cocoon is blasted with hot air or steam to kill the pupa before it turns into a moth. Then the strand is unwound like a ball of yarn so that it can be woven into silk cloth. Trees provide homes to many distinct and unique creatures. From the tiny tree hopper to the big walking stick, many incredible creatures make their homes in their leafy canopies. Just as God created trees to shelter and provide food for the bugs we learned about today, God created the bugs who live in and on trees with a purpose too. God's original design was a world with everything lived in harmony. Invasive species like the emerald ash borer or other invasives because of travel, people inadvertently bringing them to a new location where they cause damage or to a new ecosystem. The more we understand how things work together in an environment, the more careful we can be to help, conserve, and protect the delicate balance that each one holds. A fun fact is some silkworms have been genetically modified, introducing spider silk genes to make stronger, more elastic silk. That ends our lesson 4 for today.